If you don't watch WWE in kayfabe, you are ruining the product for yourself. Now, what I mean by watching it in kayfabe, I mean by you need to understand that when you are watching the show, you need to watch the show as if what's happening in the show is everything that you are supposed to be watching and relating and understanding. Too many times wrestling fans take the outside stuff from professional wrestling and they interact and intersect it and interject it into the storylines of what's going on. Recently, we had Cody Rhodes disappear off television after Drew McIntyre gave him a Claymore kick and into the table, and he was gone for weeks on end, right? What did most wrestling fans say for why Drew McIntyre took out Cody Rhodes? They didn't say it's because Drew McIntyre was angry at Cody Rhodes. They didn't say that because Drew McIntyre wanted a shot at the title and the person that's holding it was Cody Rhodes. They didn't say that he's going to be in the way of him taking on Randy Orton. They said that Cody Rhodes needs to go film a movie in Australia, so he has to be gone for about a month. I had made joking videos being like, hey, Cody's off TV for 30 days. We have no update on his injury status. He should vacate the title because he's not on television because of what's presented to us on television. Every time they gave us an update on his medical, what did they say? We don't know what's wrong with Cody. They haven't given us a real update on his neck. No one's been able to talk to Cody. In storyline, in kayfabe, if you're watching what's presented to you, your champion's gone for an entire month. Drew McIntyre might have killed him. He might be paralyzed for all we know, and there was no updates on it. In real storyline, you would think after almost 6 weeks of the guy being gone, that they would have taken the title off him and they would have made the title match Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. But a lot of fans, what they do is they use outside of the kayfabe and they go, oh, he just had a kid. He has to film this movie, so give him some time away, right? But that's not how TV shows work, right? And I think a lot of the times people ruin the shows for themselves with that stuff. Like, as a wrestling fan, if you just digest what's happening in front of you TV show wise, or what's happening, like you see it, you're going to enjoy the show significantly more. For example, every single person was saying at Clash, they're going to have Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns has to go away for a little bit and film his part of Street Fighter. So everybody walked into that match not giving a crap because in their mind, they're like, all right, Roman's going to lose. He's going to get squashed. They're going to injure him and he's going to be gone, right? But if you watch that match, Roman Reigns ends up winning, but then gets demolished and gets written off of TV. You walked into that episode not going, all right, is this going to be a coming out moment for Bronson Reed to finally get a win over one of the longest reigning champions in the history of the WWE, finally ascend himself to being the number 2 guy in his faction? But you guys were like, it doesn't really matter if he wins or loses because he's got to go film his television show. You know, a lot of people ruin that stuff for themselves. It's like the same thing what we had with SummerSlam. A lot of people were, when they were watching the show, they said, oh, well, it's very obvious to us that Seth Rollins is faking a knee injury. They're just doing all this stuff for show, because you don't care to just enjoy what's happening in front of you to be surprised, like, oh my God, he faked the injury. And I think it happens on almost every single TV show, right? A lot of people heard that Gunther's nose was broken and he needs to go get his nose fixed, which is why they did the spot where his nose was all busted up in the match at SummerSlam. So everyone is like, we already know CM Punk's going to win. So it's one of those things where when you're not watching the show in kayfabe, you are making the experience significantly worse for yourself. We found out that after WrestlePalooza, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes are 100% going to have a crown jewel match, when they told us months ago they don't think they're going to do a crown jewel match of champion versus champion because they want to just keep that in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So when the champions win, they can drive over on that golf cart into that little thing that they have, get presented the ring and all that stuff, and give the belt and put the belt back into the display case, right? Stuff like that was already ruined for us weeks beforehand when they said, oh, it doesn't matter because they know they're going to do it now. And it wasn't told to us. So when you had the women's match happening, you go, all right, whoever wins this, we don't know if they're going to face the winner of Tiffany Stratton and Jade and all that. But again, it's one of those things where until it's presented to us in kayfabe, until Adam Pearce said, now that you're the champion, just know that at Crown Jewel, whoever wins that triple threat match, you're going to be facing in a champion versus champion match. And we see it from time and time again. Every time you know that somebody either has somewhere to go, someone's contract is expiring, right? Like nowadays, as a WWE fan, you're not even supposed to acknowledge that Ricochet is at a different company. But everybody falls for that bait and everybody talks about it, right? In kayfabe, Ricochet's still in the hospital because Braun Breaker killed him on TV. You know, there's certain things where it's like, in my opinion, if you were to just watch the show in kayfabe and watch what's in front of you and let the show come to you in person, you're going to enjoy the show significantly more. It's going to make your experience of being a professional wrestling fan much better, right? Like, a lot of people are saying, all right, John Cena is going to be done this year. So obviously it made no sense for Brock Lesnar to beat him. But why not just watch the show and just enjoy that match? Right? Why are you overthinking all the outside aspects of it? You know, they're like, well, you know, Brock Lesnar is going to have to main event night one of WrestleMania against a future guy or a champion because it's Brock Lesnar. So you can't have him lose to John Cena because it ruins the build to WrestleMania. Well, yeah, because you're thinking outside of kayfabe. You're thinking along the lines and stuff like that. But if you thought about it in the moment, you're like, hold on. John Cena was just the WWE champion. Brock Lesnar lost to the guy that Cody Rhodes, right? He lost to Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes was hitting nonstop finishers on John Cena, and he was kicking out of it. But at the same time, Cody Rhodes kicked out of 9 AAs. So you're like, hold on, this is a fair matchup. What's going to happen? And then Brock Lesnar completely squashes John Cena, and you're like, well, that was obvious. We know John Cena's done at the end of the year. He only has a couple dates left. Why would they ruin Brock Lesnar, who probably has another 3 years on his deal? I remember when Edge was facing Sheamus in his final match in Toronto, everybody saying that Edge has to put over Sheamus, and they're just watching the match just to see what goes down. Everyone's their notion coming to the match was Sheamus was going to win over Edge because you walk out on your back. And everybody's waiting for Sheamus to get the win. Everybody's waiting for Sheamus to get the win, but Edge gets the win. And then everybody was mad about it afterwards because you know he's leaving. In kayfabe, you know he's gone. But you didn't know he was leaving for AEW. Everybody thought he was retiring, you know? And if you looked at it in kayfabe of him just retiring there, and you look at it as he retired WWE there, you don't have all those people that are mad at him. Oh, Edge betrayed us. Edge went to the other side. But you didn't think about the fact that now he got to do this little tour that he's on with his best friend Christian and get these little thing going on with Christian, and the fact that he had a feud with his best friend and stuff like that. You don't get to think about those little things, right? For the longest time, we had a lot of kayfabe problems with The Rock. Everybody would always say, you know, Rock's only going to be here for a week because he got this movie to film, and that movie to film, and that movie to film. And it was one of the things that ruined John Cena's heel turn, right? Because we knew The Rock's way too busy to actually commit himself to a storyline here, right? Nobody wanted to yell out loud in the moment because you wanted to enjoy it when the moment of the John Cena heel turn happened. Once the heel turn finished and everybody's yelling, you guys do realize that The Rock's not going to be a part of it. Everyone's like, no, he's in. Kayfabe wise tell us that he's the leader of this little faction that they got, and Travis Scott and all this stuff. But then you go behind the curtain and you realize this was never really the plan. Or it was the plan, and it turned out to not be the plan and stuff like that. And when you hear about Travis Scott got all this stuff going on, you know, Bad Bunny's got all these movies going on. It's one of those things I tell people all the time. You got to watch the show and enjoy the show while you're watching it. Don't let all the outside stuff interfere with what you're watching. It's going to be there, right? We know that Gunther had that broken nose. He's probably going to lose that match, but like, enjoy the match because you never know. What if they decided to have Gunther win the match, get the surgery, and be out there with a mask? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different directions they could have went with. What if they decided to have John Cena win the match against Cody Rhodes? Because Cody Rhodes had to go film his part of the movie. Because we knew Cody Rhodes had to go film the movie, right? We knew he was in Street Fighter. And what if we had John Cena win? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that if you just enjoy the kayfabe and you just enjoy what's happening in front of you, enjoy the show for what's presented in front of you, stop thinking so far ahead. Stop thinking about what these other people have going on. You know what I mean? Like, and you just enjoy the show. It's going to be a lot better for you guys. You know, everyone goes, oh, it's too predictable because I already know everything that's going on outside of WWE. It ruins it for you guys. You know, when Naomi was pregnant, nobody wanted to leak she was pregnant. Obviously, it got leaked and everybody knew it was pregnant. Did it dampen the moment a little bit? Not for me. I was there in person, but I saw somebody online go, oh, we knew she was pregnant. She should just gave it up last week. And, you know, she's got to have her moment in the ring, bro. She's got to have her moment in the ring. But that's how I feel about the kayfabe aspect. I wish more people, and I wish we could talk to wrestling fans more in kayfabe, right? Like, I wish I could talk to wrestling fans and they know that I'm just talking about what's happening storyline. I think a lot of people think, like, every single time they want to talk about WWE, they talk about it more than just WWE. They talk about all the outside factors and things like that. Let's talk about it based on the storyline that's presented in front of us. Stop thinking 25 times ahead and things like that. Enjoy the moment of what's happening in front of us. Enjoy the matches and the stories that are happening in front of us. You guys gotta just enjoy the show in kayfabe. Let the show come to you. Let's be wrestling fans, man. With that being said, I want to know what you guys think about kayfabe. I want to know what you guys think about enjoying the show in kayfabe. With that being said, I'm Allenownz. This is much love from me to you guys.